Well, hi, my name is Finn,
And I'm Annika.
and today we're talking about.
Urban planning.
Oh my gosh, welcome back to Bellingham.
Thank you.
You were in Tucson.
Yes,
How's Tucson?
going back. It's hot. First summer in Tucson. Usually I come up here to escape the heat, but I left last Saturday and we had our first monsoon, and which is like a really big storm.
In Tucson?
Mm-hmm.
Not familiar with this.
Oh,
What?
Tucson gets a ton of storms in the summer. That's like when all of our rainfall comes.
What?
Yeah, and so it was like
Sounds counterintuitive.
yeah, part of like Midtown Tucson got like 2 inches of rain in like a day, which is like a lot. And
That's a
so
lot.
like it always floods and like all the washes, like the rivers just like fill up, and it's like kind of scary. And because like also people don't know how to drive, so you stay off the streets.
In the rain? Or
Yeah,
just in
it's
general?
so funny. Well, both, but mostly in the rain. Don't even if it snows, all hell breaks loose. It's crazy. It's crazy down there.
Yeah, and I thought Bellingham drivers were bad.
I know. I come up here and I'm like, it was raining when I was driving up from Seattle yesterday, and I was like, this is so normal.
So Tucson drivers are worse than Bellingham drivers.
Yeah. I had to learn how to be really aggressive on the road when I moved there.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Because, like, you step one foot into the Trader Joe's parking lot,
Well, Trader Joe's is different.
and it's like
It's crazy.
every step you take is like that. Just I feel like it heightens my probability that it's going to be my last.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bad planning.
Oh yeah. Well, a little foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But you just graduated,
I did.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
So we went to high school together.
We did.
We were in the same class.
Same class.
Class of 2020, which
Woo.
was 4 years ago.
Yes, it was.
And now 4 years later, you're done.
I'm done.
I'm almost done.
You have-
I've done in December.
A quarter.
Yes. Not a semester.
Not a semester.
quarter. So you're on semester system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is that? How many classes do you take in a semester? Did you? Past tense.
Well,
Did you take it a semester?
I'm going back for my master's.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
do you?
did I? 6. I took 6 at a time.
That's a lot.
Which was like 18 credits, which full time is 12. So I was doing.
So 3 credits per class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, 6 classes at a time, and then I think I'll probably be taking like. I don't know. I really.
Oh, just do less for masters, right?
Yeah, but like also if I'm paying for it and it's like not like after a certain point you don't have to pay more for more classes. I might just take like 5. But full time is like only 3 classes.
Yeah.
But there's so many classes I want to take. And I only have a year.
That was. Wait. It's only a year program.
I did an accelerated master's program. So my last
You
year
told
was
me
the
this,
first year
yeah.
of my master's, and it was like nice and overlappy.
I see.
So I'm technically a second year this fall,
Right.
but
But it's like
Also
really
first year.
it's your first year.
yeah. But I've
Yeah.
already been in all the classes with my cohort, so
It's
it's
kinda
kind of
like,
also
I'm
my
a-
second year.
I'm a sophomore with credits. like-
Exactly. It's like coming in with all your AP transfers. Like, look at me.
So that was me, but then I did a double major, and so it didn't end up
Yeah.
actually shortening,
That happens.
which is okay.
Yeah.
So did you go into Tucson with a lot of AP credits?
Yeah.
Because I feel
Just
like we were in a lot of the same classes.
not a lot of APs. I took a few APs. I took
But like you took WAP, right?
Nope.
Really?
WAP.
World history.
Nope. I didn't take any of the histories. I took AP French twice.
Okay. AP Lang.
I took AP Lang.
Okay. Did you take any AP Math?
Thank goodness.
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
AP Calc?
No.
AP Stats?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, AP Calc. I knew people that took AP Calc, and it was like a 20% or it was something crazy like a 30% A.
That's wild.
No, I'm not kidding.
That's
like,
wild.
That sounds like a joke, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of,
It kind of is a joke.
But like that's what it was.
Yeah.
And well, all of the math classes were skewed down.
Yeah.
It was like an 85% A minus
That's fair. Yeah.
or something like that.
I just remember I took Calc with Mr. Leda, and it was awesome. It was not AP. It was like super relaxed. He taught us how to. He gave us like an Excel spreadsheet for like budgeting, and it was
Mm.
so helpful. It's such a helpful spreadsheet.
Do you still use it?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Lade was awesome.
Wow.
We celebrated his
Life
birthday.
skills.
I remember that.
Aw.
Yeah, we surprised him with some snacks.
I took AP Stats, which ended up being a great decision
Really?
because I got a 3 on the AP test,
Sweet.
which is just enough to not have to take math in high school or in college.
In college. Oh, that's good.
And so I had to take one lab science with a math
Uh-huh.
component. I just got it out of the way in my first quarter. Async.
Nice. Now
So,
you're done.
Yeah.
What's 2 plus 4? Oh.
6.
Oh.
Annika. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So what is your master's program called?
Masters of Science in Urban Planning. That's what I'm gonna get.
Masters of Science in Urban. So it is
Yeah.
it's urban planning.
It's urban planning. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Why?
You've been studying urban planning for in college, you've been doing that specifically for a while. Really? I thought at least going you were telling me about it going back to not last summer but last winter. Winter of 22, I feel like.
Yeah. Well,
So it's been
I've been studying related fields.
okay.
So my undergrad degree is in sustainable built environments, which is kind of like urban planning.
Fulton.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
the built environment is anything that us humans create and build. So buildings, streets, cities, and in comparison to the natural environment. And so it's how do we make the built environment more sustainable so we don't use all of our resources and die in 50 years? Really good future problem solving.
Were we in Future Problem Solvers together?
I did future problem solvers for a week and I hated it. And I said, Mom, please let me go back to Mr. Zimmerman's compass class.
You were in Mr. Zimmerman's
Yeah,
compass
were you in
class?
Mr. Zimmerman's compass?
Yes.
Did you sit on the comfy chairs?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, we're getting into this tangent, and that's okay. I did Future Problem Solvers all through 6th grade, then half of 7th grade,
Okay.
and then I bailed.
Okay. See, I think.
And then I went to Mr. Zimmerman's compass class.
Okay. Because, yeah, I think I remember that.
And I would either, sometimes I would get the comfy chairs, but usually I wouldn't because, in 8th grade I would more often, but in 7th grade I usually wouldn't because, 8th graders would have already taken it.
Okay.
But
That's
I
fair.
would do something really slick in 8th grade where I had Spanish with Mr. G.
Uh-huh.
And every, the period before. And I would get out of class as quickly as possible. And whatever my version of running was, sprint up the stairs. And then, go through the back way into his classroom.
Oh my
And put my
gosh.
backpack down
That's awesome.
to claim it.
Yeah.
It's mine.
Way to go.
Yeah. Wouldn't always get it
You
though.
fight
But-
over those.
So I did that, but I would also I would sit in the back on the really old computers that he had back there that were cathode
Oh,
ray
yeah.
tube, computers from probably the early 2000s that just hadn't been surplused yet.
Uh-huh.
And I would look at Star Trek websites and
Awesome.
dinosaurs and stuff.
That's what compass class is for.
I think so.
I think so too. I was in garden club. So once a week I would skip compass class and go hang out in the garden.
I always heard about Garden Club, but then I
Yeah.
never got involved.
Yeah, it was mostly Margot, Nika, and I for the first 2 years. And then in 8th grade, more people started to join. It was really fun.
What you were studying sustainability
Yeah. It's just,
in
yeah.
human
In sustainable, built environments.
sustainability in human built environments.
Yes.
That certainly does seem like it translates kind of automatically into urban.
Yeah. But from there, I
Plan.
could have gone to landscape architecture or architecture too. So it's, yeah.
So would you say that you have I guess like what made you go into urban planning versus architecture? Just like kind
Well,
of big picture stuff, or
yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to do architecture because it's a very like rigorous like area, and it's also a lot of math. And like I don't know why I would want to do that. It's also, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the vibe. Like it's like, oh, I'm designing something to like look pretty. Like sometimes it's like, oh, it's more about the looks and like how it functions, which function is important, but I feel like that's more like an engineer's job on a site, is like to make sure they tell the architect whether their design's going to work or not. And urban planning feels like you can impact a greater scale. So like you're dealing with like issues in like a city instead of like issues in like one house or like a different site. So it's like, I don't know, it's a bigger scale, and I feel like you get to be more of like a social problem solver instead of like mathematics.
sure,
Yeah.
that's cool. So, yeah, so there's like a sociology overlap almost.
There's a
Not almost.
there's a
There
ton
is.
of yeah, there's
Yeah.
a ton of overlap with like all sorts of things.
Interdisciplinary.
History, law, lots of politics. Very political field. Yeah. Lots of sociology.
What are you part of the? Not part of the. Are you like many people, like a pro, like anti-car, pro biking and walkways
Oh,
type
maybe.
person? Or not anti-car is maybe strong, but like but
that's
like
been used to describe me before,
but
though.
like our city, like I'm not an urban planning expert. I don't know much, but based on what I observe and what people who are educated tell me, it seems like our cities, especially in the United States,
Yeah.
are way too built around cars,
Yeah.
which are not the most efficient, nor safe,
Or sustainable.
nor sustainable methods of transportation. And that has led to negative social,
Yeah.
economic, and climate,
Very
and
much.
etc. efficiency related. What's your take on that? Can you expand on
Yeah,
that?
I can. I did my thesis on closing. There's like, so in Tucson there's University Boulevard, which is right off of like our campus. It kind of leads out of it, and it's like a little like commercial area with like some high-rise like housing next to it. And so I did my thesis on like gauging like levels of support for closing University Boulevard to cars and then redeveloping it for like pedestrian
Is it kind of like
infrastructure.
a U Village type situation?
U Village.
University Village in Seattle.
In Seattle? I haven't been
Never
down to
mind.
Seattle, no.
Was there
I've
is there
not been
like a
there.
comparison so I can like in Bellingham, is there something similar? I mean Tucson obviously is a much bigger city, but
Like, Bellingham is hard. It's more like it's any example of like a street being closed, even like temporarily, like maybe like farmer's market.
oh
or
sorry, I
like,
should clarify. I meant like as it is now.
as it is now?
I understand
Oh,
like
okay.
what it being closed off would be, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what is it right now?
As it is now,
It's like a street with like a bunch of businesses alongside of it.
yeah, it's like a maybe like similar to Fairhaven, but like just like a road.
Okay.
Just like one little strip, basically.
One strip with a lot of
with some
commercial
like businesses.
stuff.
Yeah. It's like State Street, but like only State Street.
Oh, okay. So how many lanes is it like a busy road?
It's yeah. So it's like, well, there's a streetcar that goes through it. And then the streetcar tracks share the lane with like one lane going this way, one lane going this way, and then like turn lane in the middle, and then parking on the sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is a lot like state. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you studied that. And
Yeah.
What?
I found that like the vast majority of people would support closing University Boulevard to cars, except I was on University Boulevard like stopping people. I got like 110 responses.
Fun.
And I was like, hey, do you want to take my surveys for my thesis? And so I chose to do that because I was like, oh, the opinions that kind of matter the most are like the people that actually use the street. And then I was meeting with my landlord, who is the architect of that street, which is crazy. But like he worked on like designing all of the like stores and like that whole area, and he was like, "Oh, well, did you ask the neighbors?" I'm like, "Yeah, like I didn't, but it's like it is a very important part of it, but also like I feel like the first step should be asking the people that like use the street, not like the people that make money from the street."
Right.
So, like,
The people who theoretically this area is like supposed to service.
yeah. And I asked some business owners, like I was able to talk to some business owners and stuff, and they were like everyone for the most part was like so incredibly supportive of it. Like they were like,
That's
get all the
nice.
cars out of here, like, yeah. So I ended up like proposing like a little design afterwards of like what I would do if I had infinite funds and so much power in Tucson to change that street. But yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So you do generally kind of come down on the side of more walkability, more.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's just kind of. I feel like the way that that's what I support. It feels more like comfortable, and like you can observe so much more of like the environment around you when you're walking compared to biking, compared to driving. Like driving, you're in your little bubble and you're like zooming by things, but like if you're walking, you can look at like all the like street art and all the fun like stores, and you'd be like, oh, I never noticed this before. It just seems to be a better way for like people to connect.
Imagine it would probably generate more business.
It does. But business owners are often the main demographic that opposes it because, because it's like, I don't know, it feels like if you're taking away the main way that people access your business right now, it feels like it's not going to come back, whereas it's just opening up more space for more people to come, and it creates a more desirable place that people are going to want to visit. So.
What do you think are some other sustainable solutions for getting away from like a car centric or car exclusive
Yeah.
community
I
environment?
think something when it comes to like bike infrastructure that we talk about is like separating lanes better. So not just like having a bike lane on the side of a busy road, but like separating, like have a separate bike path that's like isolated from any like vehicle traffic, and like not even connected to a road, so that you can like
So not like the green lane that
Yeah.
like we have in
not a
Bellingham.
not a
like
green lane,
at a different area.
like completely like separate that, have it be its own thing. Because even with green lanes, like there's a lot of traffic fatalities and lots of like injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like if you don't have like a barrier or like just complete lane separation, like I think the further separated you get with those things, the more like the safer those things are going to be.
I do think it's it could be pretty dicey. I mean, even in Bellingham has its.
Yeah. Well, even like the same thing could be used with like walking. Like you don't want to walk on like the side of the highway. You don't want to walk on the side of a really busy road.
Yeah.
Like it's nicer to walk somewhere where there's like separation.
Well, there's even like a couple of streets that I live on, or I live on one street, but streets in my neighborhood, most of them don't have sidewalks. And even one that I often walk on was just St. Clair Street, like 3 blocks up from my house. It's not like a busy road, but like in a residential context, it's busy. People just like whip around corners, and there's no sidewalks, and it is not fun.
Yeah.
And people get hit sometimes.
That's scary.
I don't think anyone in their neighborhood has like died, but
Thank
like,
goodness.
but like it's not. Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
I think so. Even on one side of the road, there should be.
There's a lot of like
sidewalk.
equity issues with that too. Like
Yeah.
and like accessibility issues. Like one of my friends did her thesis on sidewalk equity in Tucson and found that like all of the like she compared 2 neighborhoods. She saw that the higher income neighborhood had like far greater like sidewalk connectivity and like quality of sidewalks than like the lower income neighborhood did. And that's really interesting because if you think about like cars are expensive. Cars take a lot of maintenance and they're expensive to like maintain and upkeep. And so if we're building cities that like where cars are the most convenient option for transportation, then anyone that either can't afford a car or doesn't want to have a car, like, you shouldn't be forced into like a decision like that, especially when it's like such a big financial thing. Then, like, I don't know if you, but like people that either don't want to have a car, can't afford a car, or anything like that, like they're already at like a disadvantage if there are no sidewalks in neighborhoods, or they don't have like a safer way to like get where they need to go. So there's a lot of like really interesting equity issues with that.
Have you, it reminded me about the equity issues. Have you heard of Don't Block the Box?
No.
So it's basically a campaign, a disability rights campaign, because a lot of the box is referring to like at a crosswalk or at a sidewalk where there's, usually it's just the curb, but then the part where it's more of a ramp going down to a crosswalk or to whatever, just a way for someone to exit the crosswalk. And a lot of time people will like park in front of, or like they'll stop at a light, but they'll stop in front of the box. And that was something that was very frustrating. Luckily I have a disability. I've mentioned it on the show several times, but and now I'm strong enough where I usually can just step up on a curb. But that was not always the case, and sometimes it still isn't the case depending on how high the curb is and what the circumstances are. But even for folks that aren't wheelchair users, where like if there isn't a ramp, like I can't get down from the curb, but like people with like invisible disabilities like me, it's like obviously an accessibility issue. And so that's also not just the case of like people parking in front of the ramp, but also sometimes there are sidewalks that just are not designed with one. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah. Or sidewalks in Tucson, like sidewalks just end like in the middle of a neighborhood. They just stop and it's like gravel. It's like,
cool.
Kidding?
Cool.
You're joking.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. To loop it back a little bit, I remember this specifically at Fairhaven. I would get dropped off in my mom's car at the front of the school, and then I would cross and then go in the front, right? And there was one time where I was crossing and a school bus pulled up. It wasn't going to hit me, but it pulled up before I crossed all the way and blocked the ramp.
Oh.
And the lady who was driving the bus was like clearly very upset at me. It was like trying to wave me across. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't get up this step.
Yeah.
You should go so I can get Anyway, little anecdote.
Yeah. Bad planning. I always say that urban planning, like when done well, like you don't notice it, but like when there's bad planning, it is like just such a hindrance. So, I don't know. That's kind of an example of like, oh, if it was done well, like you wouldn't have noticed, like it wouldn't have like been a problem.
Yeah.
But like,
I would have been like, oh, everything that I need
to
like navigate this space is there.
Yeah. Because I don't think that there's like a thing of like, I don't think it's possible to go like above and beyond in planning.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you're meeting needs.
Well, I think also there are people that, like, there are plenty of people who, if there wasn't a ramp there, their needs would be met, but they're not thinking of other people's needs.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't even cross, because for them it is good urban planning. Not universally. But for I mean, that's just a broader like disability accessibility issue anyway.
Yeah.
Where it's like
oh, this is
it doesn't even cross people's mind. Which is obviously a problem because you're excluding people.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to be when you grow up? Like, what do you want to do after
when I grow up?
grad school?
That's a really great question. No clue. What do I want to do? I want to...
What are the kinds of things that you want to do? Like, doesn't have to be a career, but like, or like a specific job,
okay.
but like...
I want to move. I love Tucson. It's so great, so fun. But I want like a new adventure. I love a little adventure, and I want to go to like a new city or a new town. Doesn't have to be huge. I'm not talking New York, but I want to move, have a little adventure. Although, making friends when you're an adult, scary and difficult. But, that would be a fun little challenge. I want to. I mean, I think the most valuable thing you can spend money on is travel.
I agree.
But I think maybe I might have to work a little bit before I can do
Yeah.
that. So probably get a job.
Where do you want to go?
What, travel or?
Yeah, travel.
Oh, so many places. There's like, I don't think that you could put a pin on a map and I would be like, I don't think I want to go there.
Yeah.
Like, conflict aside, like,
Right.
if I'm not like in danger going somewhere, I'll go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good mentality to have.
Yeah, yeah. But I really want to, I think dream would be like move abroad to like France for like 5 years and like work there because with my like, because I got a French degree too. And so I really am like terrified of losing all of my French because it's been like 9 years.
And so you lived in France.
I studied abroad
studied
there.
abroad. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Yeah.
How long were you there again? few
August
months.
to December.
So
So
4 months.
yeah. Yeah.
And so that it sounds like that was a good enough experience. So you want to go back?
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, you have good experience, you have bad experiences, but it was really nice being able to like round trip fly across the country for $15. So,
What?
yep. I'm just saying, once you get over there,
hold on.
travel is cheap.
So you could fly from like Paris to.
You could fly
Like,
you could fly from
Nice.
Marseille to Bordeaux for €15 round trip. Like most of the flights I would
What-
take internationally were like $70.
What are you? Where are you flying?
Ryanair.
Air freight. Like,
Ryanair.
what was it like? Was it like a jet plane or was it like a
It was like
propeller? Was it a biplane? Like what?
like a normal commercial plane.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Trains were more
Yeah.
expensive,
Trains are more
which was
expensive.
wild.
More
but they're also
expensive to
fun.
fly in. More expensive in compared to the cost of planes there.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. It was cheaper to fly than to take a train somewhere, but I did take trains because they're fun.
Yeah. I feel like there should be a subsidy to counteract that. 'Cause
I agree.
That's pretty bad.
Talk about sustainability and,
Yeah.
travel.
That seems really wasteful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also like there's so many strikes with like all of the transportation industry, especially in France. They
Like,
know how to
like worker strikes.
Yes, they know how
Yes.
to protest. They know how to get what they want. And so you could just like be planning a trip and then like have it just be canceled like a few hours beforehand because it's like there's a
Oh,
strike.
they set up a barricade.
Yep.
Here we
No
go.
getting through. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It was kind of in AP European history with Mr. was saying the amount of times we learn about France. They're like, and then the people set up a barricade,
Yes.
and there was either an attempted revolution or a successful revolution.
Which is very interesting, urban planning related, because you know how France is known for like their big boulevards, like
Yes.
the very wide streets.
Yes.
Huge like buildings, like 6 stories on each side, like beautiful facades. The streets were widened, lots of reasons, but one of the
To
reasons
make it harder to build barricades.
military, so that people couldn't block the small alleys off, and so that the police forces could get in there and like break things up easier.
That's pretty funny.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
fun fact for you. But I think about that all the time.
I didn't know that. That's really funny.
Yeah, because Napoleon, one of the 14 or how many there were,
Probably Napoleon the Third, I would assume.
sure, hired Haussmann, an architect, to like completely demolish like Paris's city center and build it up in like the 1800s or whatever. And
Thanks, Napoleon.
yeah, but that's why there's like some weird, like only certain areas. There's like some weird architecture because buildings were like straight up like cut in half and then just like copy paste a side onto it. So that's why there's some weird triangle buildings places. But anyways, that was
Yeah,
part
I've
of it.
looked at like aerial photos of Paris. I'm like,
It's like, huh?
whoa,
How'd
this is
they do that?
spiral.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
Isn't it also like very walkable? Like you can walk from one end to the other pretty easily.
It is very walkable. It's also the public transportation there. Say what you want about the metro, but it's reliable.
It's reliable,
Yeah.
but you have to share like seats with like rats and stuff.
Yeah, but who doesn't want a companion?
Yeah.
Travel buddy.
Yeah.
No longer a solo traveler.
True. Someone to talk
Have
to.
an open mind. Maybe you'll meet a chef.
Someone to
You'll
talk.
have a little
That's
chef
true.
up there one day.
That's so true.
You're closed off to that possibility.
Yeah. No, like the bus driver takes off his hat. There's a.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like we're going to the cheese factory.
Everybody on board.
Yeah.
Field trip.
Take this bus to the cheese.
Exactly.
Anyway, what are you looking forward to?
Oh, what am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to like not working at like midnight. A 9 to 5. Sometimes I joke. A 9 to 5 would be a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
But I like enjoy it, so it's fine. And I know there's only one more year. And it's like so interesting and so cool that like it's kind of fun. So I don't think if I were an architect, I would not be having a good time. But because it's planning.
But you're not an
But
architect.
I'm not an architect, thank goodness. So yeah, so I'm having fun, learning, getting upset at things, wanting to be a policymaker, change some
Institute change.
things. Yeah.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, I hope your first year of grad school / last year of college
Thank you.
goes well. And again, congratulations on
Thank you.
graduating with your undergrad, your bachelor's baccalaureate
Yes.
degree.
International baccalaureate.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Of course. Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
And don't drive a car.
Only if you have to. It's okay.
If you try to walk.
If
Walk
you
more.
can. Yeah. You know, it's all the system's fault
That's true.
if you can't do it. It's not a personal responsibility. It's the way that cities are built.
If you
So,
have the opportunity.
if it is doable for you, then do it.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.